Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at Edifier's brand new noise cancelling pair of headphones, the WH950NB. Now it's kind of already confusing that they have the 950 in the name because a few years back Sony had the XB950, so I don't know what the similarities are because of having that number in the title, but what this pair is a premium pair of noise cancelling headphones, so it's more made to compete with the Sony WH1000XM5s and the Bose 700s and the Bose QC45s. The huge difference is the price. These come in retailing at $179, although on AliExpress I found them for $169, which really means they're almost half of what Bose and Sony are charging for their headphones. So that already intrigued me because this pair is high-res audio wireless certified. It has LDAC support, it has noise canceling, and actually different levels of noise canceling. So there's really a lot to look at with this pair. So we're going to talk about all of those features. We're going to talk about the sound, what all comes inside the box, and see if at half the price these can actually compete with the Sony and the Bose. So to start with, let's just go ahead and jump in with what all comes inside the box. Now it does come with a hard case. On the outside it kind of has like a fabric feel to it, and it's actually a nice hard case, but on the inside it has a pouch which holds the other accessories. You have an airline adapter if you're going to use these plugged into an airplane while you're traveling, which also means that it comes with a 3.5mm headphone cable, and it also comes with a USB-C cable to charge these. But jumping over to looking at the headphones, now this is another thing that is similar with the Sonys. The headband actually has like a metal or aluminum material right up top, but luckily there is some really nice pleather padding underneath that. They use that same pleather material on the ear pads, which again feels like Sony's XM5s and XM4s ear pads. So there's memory foam. It's just really, really comfortable. There's not a whole lot of weight with these headphones. The ear pads do swivel and the headphones actually do fold flat. So you can just kind of get these to be pretty compact so you can fit them in a bag or the case pretty easily. But I do like that on the outside, although they also have vents that look like the Sony headphones, the texture on the ear cups, it kind of gives it a really nice premium look. Now, as far as the inputs and the buttons and all that, on the left side, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack input. And then on the right side, you have that USB-C input. And then all of your buttons are also located on the right side. And really, there's not a whole lot of buttons. Now, I do wish that they went with a different material. I think this is the one thing that kind of pulls from the look of these. But I am glad that they did not go with the touch or swipe gestures. I'm just not the biggest fan of those. But the buttons, what they do is you have a mode button. You could switch between different modes, which we'll talk about. You have a multi-purpose button in the middle, which allows you to play, pause, skip your tracks forward, go backwards, and then you have your volume up and down. So you have all of your controls right there on the right ear cup, and overall, they just feel and look like a premium pair of headphones. Now, some of the features on these, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these are high-res wireless certified. They do have that LDAC support, which I'm a huge fan of. I've been using this in a lot of earbuds I've been testing. So I've kind of gotten used to getting the most out of what I'm listening to. Now, it also has Bluetooth 5.3 and it has Google's Fast Pair. So if you're using an Android device, you will see the pop-up on the screen come up as soon as you turn the headphones on. You can also download Edifier's app, which I highly recommend. The app is giving you a lot of different controls. It allows you to keep the headphones updated. You also have multi-point connection if you want to be connected to more than one device at a time, but you also have to go into the app to turn the LDAC mode on. Now, if you have LDAC on, it turns your multi-point connection off. You cannot do both at the same time. And then it also allows you to go between your different noise canceling levels. You have a high level, a low level, and it also has a wind reduction mode. And if you switch it into transparency mode within the app, you can turn the adjuster up or down depending on how much you want to allow your surroundings to be picked up by the microphones. And I was also very impressed with this feature. Now, some other things is it also has the ability to switch it from a music mode to a gaming mode to a movie mode. Now, this slightly adjusts the EQ depending on which mode you're in, but it also cuts down latency if you're going to be gaming on your mobile device or you're going to be watching a movie or a video. So I also like the fact that you have these different options to switch between. And then also in the app, you can go in and customize the mode button. So if you don't want it to go from one mode to the other, or you're wanting it to do more than just go from noise canceling to transparency, you can go to the other noise canceling modes, whatever. You have this customization within the app. And then the only other thing is you do have the ability to set safe volume. So it keeps it under 85 decibels and it keeps you from just blaring the headphones and blasting your eardrums out. So if you have a kid that's using these and you just kind of want to limit them some, it's nice that you have this control as well. Now, moving over to talking about the noise canceling and the transparency mode, there are 3 different noise canceling modes. You basically have high noise canceling, low noise canceling. There is a wind reduction mode. So if you're going to use these outdoors, it will keep the wind from affecting your audio like in some other headphones. And the high and low noise canceling I noticed is very, very similar. And the noise canceling is actually very good in this pair. Now, I'm going to say it's not on the level of Sony or Bose, but it is also not half as good considering where it's priced at. It is much better than that. It does a very good job of blocking out all of the usual like AC units, engine noises, like refrigerator, like those low rumble sounds that are around you. But it also takes it a step up and starts blocking out a decent amount of people talking. So if you're going to use these like in a restaurant or a coffee shop, you won't hear a lot of the dialogue going on around you. Now, the transparency mode was also very impressive, and just leaving it in the middle mode, I was able to hear my surroundings very well. I could carry on a conversation without taking the headphones off, which is important because one feature that I wish that these had that they don't is there's no smart sensors. So if you take your headphones off, they do not pause. They don't just go back to what you're listening to when you put them back on. You are going to have to pause your headphones if you want it to stop where you're listening to them if you're going to take them off. So again, that's something that the higher brands have that I wish were in these. Now moving over to the battery life, which is another area these are very impressive with. If you use them with the noise canceling off, you can squeeze about 55 hours out of these. But if you use them with the noise canceling on, it is going to bring them all the way down to 34 hours, which, is going to easily get people through a week, definitely through a day. If you just listen to them 24 hours a day, you're still going to have some juice left at the end of the day. But if you do pick your headphones up and they're dead, it also has one of the best fast charge features I've seen. On a 10-minute charge, you can get 7 hours of use. So if you're about to walk out the door and they're dead, if you can wait 10 minutes, you can almost get a full work day's worth of battery life. And again, that was just impressive to see on this pair. Now, if you are going to have these headphones on and take phone calls, it is using 4 microphones total. It's also using the environmental noise canceling to try to block out a lot of your surroundings. And this is another area that I was also very impressed with. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys. So here is a mic test using the Edifier headphones. I think overall it does a pretty decent job of picking up my voice. I do notice some digital noise here and there. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's the mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. The sound on these are fantastic, but I got to tell you how I had these set up. I always listen to them in LDAC mode, and I noticed that if I had the noise canceling on, I needed to have the EQ setting to classic, and if I had the noise canceling off, I needed to have the EQ setting to dynamic. And the reason for this is if the noise canceling is on, it kind of closes it in a little bit, but it adds some warmth to the sound and it adds some boominess to the bass. And I think it kind of takes away from the brightness of the treble. But if you have it in classic mode, that kind of just offsets that. But if you listen to them with the noise canceling off and listen to them in dynamic mode, which is my personal preference, that seemed to hit the sweet spot. It seemed to have really nice bass that can compete with the Sony and the Bose. And it also had some really clean, bright trebles. Now, it's not treble that gets harsh. It's not one of those that gets ear fatiguing or anything like that. It just balances out very well with that low end. And I think it makes it really comparable to the Sony and the Bose when it comes to audio. But the mids I felt on these were better than both the Sony and the Bose. I felt like vocalists just stood out more. There was a lot more characteristics in male and female vocalists being brought out. And no matter what genre I was listening to, I never felt like the mids took a step back. So I was really impressed with the way that these were tuned, but not the way that they were tuned out of the box. You have to go in and mess around with it a little bit. So do keep that in mind. And when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, this also surprised me because it did sound very open, as long as it's not in noise canceling mode. Now, noise canceling, again, it just seems to close it in a little bit. Now, I know that's on purpose. It's meant to isolate you from everything else, but it just did not sound as open when I had the noise canceling turned off. So overall, I was very impressed with the sound quality. And really, my overall opinion is this: the look, the feel, and the sound are all very premium, except for the buttons. I wish that they just went with a different texture or just went with the swipe controls, even though I'm not a huge fan of that. But if you are just locked in on wanting really good sound and really good noise canceling, but you just don't want to dump $300 or $400 into a pair of headphones, this one right here pretty much matches everything else. I mean, the sound on these are excellent. Having LDAC and having that high-res audio is really just making sure that you're getting the most out of what you're listening to. And I've had an excellent time while testing these. And I think at the price point, it's going to be hard to find anything that compares to these, because I don't feel like the Soundcore headphones match up with these. I don't feel like even One More's headphones match up with these, which have been pairs that I've been impressed with. But the Edifiers just kind of takes it a notch further and makes it more comparable to the more expensive headphones. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Edifier WH950NBs. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.